Yo, what up, though? Skol family. Will the Minnesota Vikings make the same mistake twice? What I mean by that is, will the Minnesota Vikings retain KOC and let Brian Flores become a head coach somewhere else, similar to the Brad Childress and Mike Tomlin situation? Brad Childress came up under Andy Reid. KOC came up under Sean McVay. Brad Childress was supposed to be a quarterback whisper, an offensive guru. The same thing we heard about KOC. I just feel like the Minnesota Vikings owners sold us the same dreams twice, man. Cause the shit is the exact same things I heard before, man. KOC is not a good head coach right now. And Brad Churchill wasn't a good head coach when Mike Tomlin was here, man. The Minnesota Vikings offense struggled the first year. They went 6-10. And the Minnesota Vikings defense was ranked number 14, and they had the number one run defense in the NFL. But the Vikings let Tomlin walk and become Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, and the rest is history, man. Mike Tomlin is still to this day is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and the Minnesota Vikings ran through a lot of coaches since Mike Tomlin left the damn building, man. Let's be for real. The Vikings sold us the same dream twice, and we bought the shit twice. Ain't that some shit? The Minnesota Vikings, man. If we was to miss the playoffs under KOC watch this year, or go 2-3 or 1-4, I just feel like the Minnesota Vikings need to give KOC his walking papers and make Brian Flores the head coach of this football team, man. Because we cannot afford to let Brian Flores become a head coach somewhere else and have success. Then next year, when KOC struggle again, we fire his ass. Like, that's right there would be ass backers. And I would be very mad if the Minnesota Vikings go that route, man. Because right now, KOC look like he had no control over this Minnesota Vikings offense, man. The Minnesota Vikings offense is not that good. They wasn't that good last year. How many 3-and-outs did the Minnesota Vikings have last year? And how many games did we get blew out last year due to the offense can't score points, can't get first downs, can't do nothing? The same thing happening now. Only reason the Minnesota Vikings is getting blew out this year is because of Brian Flores. I just feel like KOC need Brian Flores more than Brian Flores need KOC. And I just hope the Minnesota Vikings organizations and owners and GM recognize that and see that. Like, after this year, if we miss the playoffs, I just feel like it would be time for a change at the head coach position, man. I know KOC signed a 4-year deal, but on the back end is we can get Brian Flores a 5-year deal with some low money in the beginning. Then on the back end, we can load up his contract and make him the highest paid coach in the NFL, man. The Vikings need to stand on business with KOC in his offense, man. The offense isn't good. The offense haven't really been good since KOC got here. The running game struggled last year. It's struggling this year. The offense struggled last year and is still struggling again this year. The Vikings just got lucky last year, man. And I know Kirk Cousins went down, but before he went down, the Vikings were what? 1-4, 2-4. Like, that still ain't no excuse because you wasn't 4-0 before Kirk went down. So I just feel like that right there is an excuse. And I don't want to hear if we had Kirk, we would have won. Like, stop acting like Kirk Cousins is a Tom Brady or something like that. We probably would have lost them games, but lost them in another type of way, man. Let's keep it real. But I just feel like the Minnesota Vikings needs to do right with this head coaching situation if KOC and his offense don't get it together after the bye week, man. If we was to lose to the Raiders, another interim head coach, and we seen what happened last year when we played Indy, I just felt like after that game, and if we lose to the Bengals, the rain is on the wall. KOC should not be retained as the Minnesota Vikings head coach, man. And another thing is, KOC look like he don't know what to do with a mobile quarterback. Dobbs and Kirk Cousins should not be working the same damn playbook. And I don't want KOC working with my rookie quarterback because he look like he don't know what to do with a mobile quarterback. KOC seemed like he want a mobile quarterback to be a statue quarterback. He don't use the quarterback like he should use the quarterback, man. I'm not seeing no RPO. I'm not seeing none of that. I'm not seeing no draw up quarterback sneaks. I don't see none of that under KOC, man. He don't scheme up players to be open. We got the best wide receiver in the NFL, and there's a lot of games when JJ go MIA in the second half when the defense that made adjustments after halftime, KOC ain't do no type of adjustments. Like KOC is not that good of a head coach right now in his career, man. And he might not be one. Everybody cannot be a head coach in the NFL. He might be better as an offensive assistant, a quarterback coach, something like that. Cause he never called plays in at the Rams. He don't know how to call plays now. So I just feel like the Minnesota Vikings, man, need to do the right thing if KOC struggle the last 5 games, man. Fire KOC, retain Brian Flores, let Brian Flores hire his people, and find us the quarterback of the future, man. The shit isn't that hard. KOC just making shit harder than what it is. Like, why haven't the Vikings just named Jared Hall the starter for the rest of the season? He might not be the starter, knowing KOC. It won't surprise me. But if he is, KOC probably will change the play style and everything. So the Vikings need to do the right thing in this situation, man. Do not let history repeat itself with the Brad Children and Mike Tomlin situation, man.